due to some violent content. Parental discretion is advised.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the Red Light District Junior Hockey Talk Show and mayhem behind the mic. If you're not following the BS Boyz on juniorhockey.com, YouTube, or the bsboys.wordpress.com, then you really need to work on your stalking skills. Here they are, with their Fisher-Price broadcast diplomas proudly in hand, the BS Boyz.
Just know I have a whole bag of with your name on it.
Hello and welcome into the Red Light District Junior Hockey Talk Show. We are the BS Boyz. Well, at least the last time we checked and the Border Patrol asked us for ID, we were the BS Boyz. We're getting close now. We're getting close to hockey season. We have NORPAC opening with weekend games starting on the 28th of September, which is the beginning of the 13th season of NORPAC hockey. We actually have Glacier going to Bremerton, take on the West Sound Warriors. Game time is 7:35, both Friday and Saturday night, the 28th and 29th. Tri-City rolls into our home rink, Vancouver, for the weekend battle as the Vipers host the new Tri-City Outlaws at Mountain View Ice. We're in a game time 7:35, and of course you can tap into fasthockey.com and catch us, the BS Boyz, calling the game.
It seems just like it was 2 weeks ago where we were ending the season. It just went by really fast.
Really? It went by that fast for you?
It did.
It drug on forever for me. You got to get a life.
I'm trying.
Maybe a chia pet would help. Put a little chia pet in your kitchen, feed it water.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need friends bad.
I do.
Listen, Special Greg does need friends, so if you would like to be friends with Special Greg, you can send us an email at bsboys@live.com, or you can call us and leave a message, or send a text to 971-258-2840. Be friends with Special, and like him on Facebook. Let's check. You know what? Team Littler.
Yes.
We interviewed Bliss a while ago, otherwise known as the Wenatchee Wild. They had an interesting preseason. They actually went to the BCHL and went 3-2 against BCHL teams in preseason play.
It was a good time for Bliss. They wrapped up their 2012 preseason this past weekend with a 3-2 victory over the Langley Rivermen. Local boy Scott Moyer plays on that team.
Yes, he does. Yep.
Overall, the Wild finished the preseason with an impressive 3-2 record against the BCHL teams.
Yeah, they ended up losing 5-4 to the West Kelowna Warriors, 4-1 to the Penticton Vs, but beat the Vernon Vipers, and that name's going to be important here in just a bit, the Vernon Vipers, 9-5, and the Salmon Arm Silverbacks, 3-2. So Coach Littler, definitely high expectations of the Wild this coming season as he rolls into the BCHL to play a couple teams up there in preseason play. Then they end up having a week of practice back home at the Town Toyota Center before traveling to Blaine, Minnesota for the Showcase Tournament, which opens up September 12th as the Wenatchee Wild takes on the Springfield Junior Blues, and former Seattle Totem Kyle Blondin is playing for the Blues this year. So if you want to catch all the games, you can certainly do that on fasthockey.com. Watch your Wild play. If you happen to be in Wenatchee and you'd like to go catch a game, you can call 509-888-PUCK. That's 509-888-7825. Now, on to bigger and better things. This edition of the Red Light District hits close to home since we will be talking to the new head coach and co-owner of the Vancouver Vipers. Told you that name was going to come into play eventually. Formerly the Victory. Keith Bemis, we're going to get him on the line here very soon. Now, we've had some kind of disarray. Vancouver did go through an owner change at the beginning of last season, and so it seemed like it was one and done for the former owner as he kind of wanted to move on to other ventures, I guess, and wanted out. And so the new ownership group, which was passed by a vote of 5-0 by the other owners in NORPAC back August 29th, took effect immediately, and Keith will be taking over as the new bench boss for the Vipers this upcoming season. Now, last year, the Victory started the season with a new owner, new identity, new coaching staff. John Nogach was named the head coach, but was replaced early on by Dave Petrino. And I honestly think this led to some confusion on the ice for the kids. Different coaching styles, different philosophies.
Different systems.
It's difficult getting used to one coach, then having another coach come in. So Dave Petrino finished up the season. Speaking of John Nogach, though, John has actually been hired by who?
The new Tri-City Outlaws as the head coach.
So John Nogach, the new bench boss up there in Tri-Cities. The Victory, now the Vipers, went 17-21-3 last year, made the 2011-2012 playoffs, beat Eugene in the first round 2-1, and then ran into a hot Seattle Totem team, ended up getting swept 3-0 in the second round. So right now, without further ado,
let's bring him on.
And the Chia Pet over there that Special Greg recently adopted on the line of BS, the new head coach and co-owner of the Vancouver Vipers, Keith Bemis. Hey, Keith, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How you boys doing?
We are doing well.
Excellent.
Just kind of hanging out in the studio of BS, doing what we do best, which is BS, I guess.
Just real quick, we owe Keith a lot for the BS too, the BS boys.
We do. Those that don't know, and based on the emails, you don't. Nobody really knows what the BS stands for. And back in the old River City Jaguar days, when the Jags had to have a broadcast team, the name BS Boys was penned by Keith Bemis.
Yes, it was.
Weird how that kind of goes around.
It is.
And people still email us. What does the BS stand for?
I think I hold royalty rights to it, too.
You do, which means you're going to be broke. Because, we don't pay anybody for anything, let alone the name of BS. Why do you catch us up, Keith? How did this whole thing come about, this ownership change, and why did it take place so late into the summertime?
Well, basically, to keep it short, Andy Vilkauskas, the previous owner, tried several different avenues to work to either sell the team, move it on to other people, or get people to operate it and run it for him for a good fee, and kind of on Andy's behalf, he just, every time a deal seemed to almost seemed to be completed, something would happen to stop it. And one of the last deals he was working, the group actually contacted me about helping them recruit players, especially in the local area. I told them I would, and then a few days later they called me and asked me if I'd coach the team, and I'm like, sure, let's go forward. And then that deal ended up falling through, and at that point we were probably already into well into mid-August, and in times of the essence at that point, and we haven't been out recruiting except for phone calls that I was making and the former GM Chuck Cheshire was making of. So from there, the league contacted me about keep recruiting. We're going to put a franchise there. We're pretty sure we're going to move forward. We're going to try and make something happen. Well, I kind of waited and just kind of told players, just give it some time. Not sure what's going on. Don't run anywhere. I lost 2 players during that time, but was able to keep most everybody else. The league basically terminated the franchise, actually the Victory franchise, and what they've given myself and my co-owner Bob Cannerl that owns Mountain View Ice Arena is a temporary membership for the year. At the end of the year, we have the option of turning it into a full-time franchise, and Bob and I have every intention of turning this into a full-time franchise in the future. So, in a nutshell, that's the best way to describe it without getting too detailed with every option that was given to Andy, and Andy tried to work.
I mean, it's more than a full-time job this late in the season to do recruiting, right? I mean, how many players have you been talking to? What's your roster look like, and how many players are you guys still looking for at this point?
I think something like this, you really should be always looking for players, but really, right now, I've probably got about 13 quality players, and beyond that, got some players that probably really shouldn't be playing at this level. But I might be stuck with them. Somebody give me a reason to move them along, then that's part of the junior game. It's just you want to try and make yourself the best possible team you can, and sometimes that's what you have to do is move players along, and some go up and some go down, and how many players have I talked to? Oh my gosh,
a lot.
Probably at this point, 250, 300, 400 kids. I don't know. You don't find even 15 hockey players by making 20 calls. It's probably 10 to 1 in phone calls. For every player at least. It's not like I don't know who to call. And I've reached out and gotten a lot of help from a lot of different individuals, other coaches at this level, other coaches from higher levels, I just make periodic phone calls to them. So some of the recruiting is more getting other people to help you recruit. If one person thinks that they could come in with 4 weeks to go to play in a season and make a junior A hockey team, they're nuts. It just doesn't happen. So, so I'm getting players from a lot of different individuals, and fortunately I have those contacts because they're showing to pan out already by some of the players I'm getting lately. So just keep trying to move forward and try and get better every day.
Well, if you're interested in playing junior A hockey here in the great city of Vancouver, Washington, in the Pacific Northwest, then this is your chance. You can contact Coach Bemis at kbeemer29@aol.com. That's KBEEMER29 at AOL.com.
Or give them a call at 503-737-9579.
And if you'd like to get a hold of us, and I'm sure you would, for good, bad, or indifferent reasons, you can send us an email, bsboys@live.com. That's boys with a Z. Give us a call or leave a text message at 971-258-2840. So you can also go to the blog, thebsboys.wordpress.com, or just Google us, and that'll show you the way. So, Keith, you guys didn't have a chance to go to any showcases, no camps. You didn't really have the time to really market the Vancouver team or talk to kids at camps like at Globals up in Burnaby or down at Las Vegas. Have you been talking to other teams about possibly getting some of the kids that don't make their squad to possibly come play here in Vancouver?
Oh yeah, definitely. Just a few hours ago, I was on the phone with Mike Murphy up in, outside of our league, of course, in the Western States League, Seattle Totems. Earlier today, I was talking to Troy Irving, owner and GM of the Southern Oregon Spartans. And I've contacted every coach in our league. Also talked to a few coaches in the EJ about a couple of players. You make all the phone calls. You try and make all the contacts you possibly can. I've got some great people helping me that have been doing this for forever, kind of been involved in all sorts of levels in the junior hockey game, and one of them panned out today. Turk Hartley, whose son Chris coaches in the AWHL. Chris Hartley in Billings, Montana. Turk has been a long-time scout in the BCHL, and he's agreed to give his support and advice to our organization and to me in particular. And he contacted a guy in the Western States League, a coach down in the Western States League that he's known for a long time, and he's got a goaltender that he's a 20-year-old goaltender. He needs to play games, and he's got a tough situation where he's got a couple of really good goaltenders. And fortunately, this kid comes with a lot of experience. He's not only played junior A before, but he played Division III college hockey last year. just in a position there where, he was a freshman, another kid was a freshman, and I guess the other kid's 6'8" and was standing on his head, so he's probably going to be the starting goaltender there for 4 years. And this kid doesn't want to just sit behind the same kid for 3 years while he's playing D3 hockey, and I kind of respect that fact. So he's already signed a contract, and we're picking him up at the airport at 10 o'clock on Monday morning. So some of these contacts really, all you can do is try and remember all the people that you've been associated with and start making phone calls to them. And we all like to help each other. It's not like I haven't ever helped any of these people that I've called either. We've gone back and forth in life, and so it's kind of like you scratch my back right now, I'll scratch yours, and it's just the hockey world's such a small world. I mean, we all know each other.
On the line of BS, we're talking to the new head coach of the Vancouver Vipers, Keith Bemis. Keith, you're the bench boss this year. What do you have going on as far as filling the assistant coach role and any other roles that you guys have?
Well, presently I have a gentleman that's been coaching at a high level of U18 and high school all-stars, and George Larkin, who's originally from Boston, Massachusetts, still has the little twang to his voice. He's a very knowledgeable guy, and he's going to be of a great asset. He's completely committed to this and wants to continue to be an assistant coach in the future. He very disciplined, and it definitely wants the players to be disciplined. It's helping me set down all the rules and getting them to all the players so they know what the expectations are. One thing we aren't doing is, just because we're coming into this late, I'm also preaching to them, I'm not setting the bar low because I feel sorry for you. We're setting the bar high. We have no reason to not try and go and not want to go and not believe we can't win the league. So we are going to attack it that way. I don't believe you go out and win the league without having that kind of thought. But George is very positive there. He's been around the game like I have. He's not a 20-year-old. He's in his mid-40s, and so am I. And we've both been coaching for a long time. So he brings a lot of experience with him.
Do you have a GM located?
At this point, what really is kind of happening is we have a gentleman in Chuck Cheshire that is helping fill some of those duties. I myself will fill the rest of those duties, and then down the road next year, given more proper time, we'll be out looking to replace myself, and more than likely, and not saying that they're all not going to be included, but it will not be somebody from the local area, more than likely. We've already started to generate a list of names, and not one of those people is living in the city of Portland or in the state of Oregon. So,
well, depending on what happens in November, you might have a couple of good choices there for GM.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll be looking for a job. I'm not really sure who, but one of those guys could be available. Or Special Greg, he'd be horrible at that job.
I like the broadcast row. I'll say there.
Well, piece by piece, it takes time to put all these elements together. Listen, we want to remind everyone out there, if you're interested in playing Junior A hockey here in Vancouver, Washington, contact Coach Bemis at kbeamer29@AOL.com. AOL.com. Again, that's KBEEMER29 at AOL.com.
Or give them a call at 503-737-9579.
The Vipers will host the Tri-City Outlaws on September 28th and 29th at Mountain View Ice Arena, and you'll be able to watch those games on fasthockey.com. As the BS Boys, yours truly, will be lowering your hockey IQs once again. One last question, Coach. Why the Viper name? Where did that come from?
Well, one, when the Jaguar team moved to Vancouver, I originally actually wanted to have us change the name to the Vipers, more for financial reasons. They decided not to go down that path. But then when I got involved with Bob Knerl about possibly owning a franchise in Vancouver, the one thing was that he is just now starting a youth hockey program out of Mountain View that is called the Vancouver Vipers Youth Hockey Program. So it's just a perfect tie-in to have the Junior A program mixed with the youth program of the same rink. It's really the way that it should be set up, and I think it'll be nothing but positive and beneficial in the future. You know, the one thing that I think some people have forgotten to mention is, you know, the reason why the franchise went from being in Beaverton, Oregon to Vancouver, Washington is, you know, kids love to play in front of people, and then they love to play in front of passionate people. And the one thing that even over the last 2 years is shown is there are a lot of passionate people in Vancouver, and there is a lot of support in that area, and it can be a fun environment if they would just get stable and you know, and this team gets stable. It will be so much fun to be in that arena. It will be packed. It will be loud, and it probably will become very obnoxious. And that's the whole reason why we moved the franchise there. Was local community supported, and not only just in the very local area, but in the whole greater Vancouver area, from sponsorships and the fans. So it's an exciting place to come play. I truly believe.
Well, and we saw that you know, the last year, you know, when we were up there, it was loud, it was packed. We did have fan support.
We had a few games where it was so loud we had a hard time hearing ourselves with our headsets on.
Well, when people are stomping on aluminum benches right next to you, it was like literally when the Victory scored a goal, we couldn't talk for like 45 seconds.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, and that is the energy that Mountain View Ice Arena will provide the Vancouver Vipers this year as the new coach, new owner, Keith Bemis, brings the Vipers into Mountain View Ice Arena. Well, Coach, we do appreciate the time here at the Red Light District Junior Hockey Talk Show, and we wish you the best of luck, and I'm sure, obviously, we'll be seeing a lot of you up there at Mountain View Ice Arena.
And you guys know how to appreciate you, too. So
we
thank
do.
you.
Yeah, we appreciate the checks, man. Keep them coming. Take care, Keith. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Keith.
Talk to you guys later.
All right, bye.
There he is, Keith Bemis, new head coach, co-owner of the Vancouver Vipers. And again, if you do want to play in Vancouver this year, please send Coach Bemis an email, kbeamer29@aol.com, or you can call him on his cell phone.
503-737-9579. That's 503-737-9579.
And once again, the Vipers will be hosting the Tri-City Outlaws on September 28th and 29th. That's Friday and Saturday at Mountain View Ice Arena. And if you would like to get a hold of us, please do so. BS Boys, Boys with a Z, at live.com, or give us a call or text us, 971-258-2840. And again, the blog, bsboys.wordpress.com. Entertainment, cheap entertainment, because Special Greg's involved.
Very cheap.
It's very cheap. That's going to wrap it up for another edition of the Red Light District Junior Hockey Talk Show. We sure do appreciate everybody tapping in. If you'd like to tap into fasthockey.com, catch us calling the game 28th, 29th of this month. We'd love to have you. We'll be talking to you very soon. Take care, everybody, and safe home.
Bye-bye.